Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Cameron with me here today, and we're going to talk about a few things. We're also going to do a prepper giveaway from the wrap so that we did get that filled up. So, Cameron, how are you?
Good. I like that intro.
Yeah, that was something, Rad made up real quick the other day. Probably took her 5 minutes to do it, but she
Well, thank you, Rad.
yeah, she is right on top of that stuff. She's really good at it, and so big thanks to her for that.
Yeah, fantastic. That's cool. Feel so professional.
Right. Well, it just felt like, I talked to James about it a while ago, and he's been so busy that, I kind of was like, you know what, I'll just have Rad do it. And she made mine, and I felt like it was just missing something. We just need something at the beginning.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, yeah. How's it going, man? How are you?
Good. We're good. Busy day. Just literally walked up, sat down, and hit the live button. So we've been really busy this morning, but yeah, we're good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Team's doing well, and yeah, I got some updates. So
Good.
yeah, it's awesome. I'm gonna drop a hello in the chat, everyone. Hello.
I figured we'd give it a few minutes to let people come in. I'm gonna go ahead and share it on Twitter as well. Picker wheel starting to come up, I think. Nope, not that one. Yes.
Updates, indeed.
How's everybody in the chat? Looks like we got Kruger, Sky King, Project Homestead, Yaba, and then that's you.
That's me.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you. Good to see everyone. So
we got about 10 people, so we'll just hang out for a minute. I'm gonna tweet this out and then fill out the raffle, and then we'll get going.
I'll do the same thing. Is it on the Para Twitter?
It will be. Yeah, I just had to switch from mine to the Para Twitter in order for it to pull it up just kind of the easy way.
Nice. Oh, it shows it live. It's new.
Yeah, it actually I can stream it to through my StreamYard to YouTube and Twitter all at the same time.
Oh, right on. Well, that is nifty. That's nifty. It is. I did not know that. Yeah, fantastic. So I might have to get with you on that. I can give some updates on what's been going on. I mean, today we did like a show and tell briefly.
Yes.
So Dave Ender is one of our developers. And yeah, I was able to see his screen. We went through, and I mean, there's a lot of code, right? A lot of just kind of back end stuff, but he had a preview screen, right? So it showed the app and then kind of clicking through. So, it's funny when it comes to development, there's so many things that we're just used to, just kind of built in. It's like we don't even think about it. But what we went over is like the loading screen and signing up and email verification and just creating an account and that whole side of things. And I mean, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But that's what I was able to see today. So, right now it's like a proof of concept, working it out, getting it all like put together, and then we'll kind of double back and polish everything up. But it was great to see. It was fun to see things actually getting done and being built, and you're like, oh, yeah. There's the app right there.
Yeah, it is. It's really awesome. We talked about this last week, kind of being behind the scenes a little more and seeing what they're doing and things coming in. And, like I said, half of it I don't understand, but you see everything that they're doing and how,
Well, hello. Alex disappeared. So it's just me. I hope he comes back soon. Where did he go? So caught me off this.
There. I don't know what happened. It just kicked me out for some reason.
I was just like, and I'm alone. Here we go.
It kicked me out, and I'm like, well, I hope Cameron's still there. Because if he is, we're good. So
yeah, I'm here.
I have no idea what that was about, but
that's funny.
Okay. All right, so I've got the raffle loaded, so we'll draw that here in a little bit. You know, it might be a little bit of a shorter stream today, everybody. Just, we can talk about the market a little bit too. I mean, the market's looking really good.
Yes. Yeah.
So far, holding up.
Got this right here. Yeah, the market's looking pretty good. I mean, it's just been pumping. We had a little bit of like one day I think it was like 5%. Like that's nothing. So
Right. And ETH's up. What did somebody tell me? 35% in the last week or two, or 40%.
Yeah.
So
it's at the beginning of January, like January 1st, Ethereum was, I mean, it was under $1,200. It was like 11.95. And then from where it is right now at this moment, it's up 38%.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a big move.
So that's huge. And it's, I think it was a big feat to break 1,600 for ETH. That's kind of been we've seen resistance at 1,600 before, and it's broken through, and now 1,654 right now. So, it's looking good. I'm really happy with the way it's kind of held up. We've all kind of talked about where is it actually a bull run? Is it not? But it looks like so far so good.
Yeah. So far so good. Is it a bull run? No, it's not. I mean, look, I'm not saying that it can't turn into one, but this alone is not a bull run. We can go back and see. Let's see. So let's look at there. I mean, it's looking good, but pull back and look at the day chart, zoom out, look at all-time highs. That's, we were at, so Ethereum, remember, broke under $1,000, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So from $1,000 to where it rallied up to was 112% approximately.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really good run. And then it went all the way back down to basically $1,000, $1,078. So, I'd stay optimistic. It's not bad, but we have had these type of moves. Let me do one thing here. So we even had a 40% move in October, went from about 1,150 all the way up to where we are right now, right? 1,700, 1,650, 1,700. So, right now is actually kind of more or less a point of resistance. Yep. We would want to see it break higher, but I guess what I'm trying to say is this: I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying that we're, in a bad place or anything like that. But don't FOMO. You're more than likely going to have an opportunity to get Ethereum again under $1,400 relatively soon, right? That's what it seems to me. Whenever you have, I'll tell you, as far as technical analysis, because I do a lot of technical analysis. Whenever you have a big move one way or the other, and you just have a big, green candle or big red candle or something, those type of major level changes, what they signify is that there's not a lot of price negotiation there. And so they're called single print candles. And oftentimes the price will revert back. And it's if you have a big single print candle that goes up, you would have an equal one that comes back down, and that's the price negotiation that takes place. And then it will, reverse and go back up. So I would say at least 1,350 at some point you'll have another opportunity. So don't FOMO. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunities. Just take time.
Well, I try and remind people too, we have a long way to go before we get back to where we were. So, it's like when people say, oh, this is pumping. And I'm like, well, it's back up 50% from where it was down 50%. So when we get back to 3,000 in ETH, then now we're talking back to in the 30s for Bitcoin, 35, 40,000 for Bitcoin. Now we're just regaining the ground that we lost. So to me, it's great. I love to see obviously crypto going up, but we're so far from where we were. So we got a lot of ground to still cover.
4, 5. Yeah, I'm actually I haven't mapped this out in a little bit, but I want to see the Elliott waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking for a little bit lower of a wave. I mean, this is good, but it really hasn't done anything ultra significant.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted temper expectations, because when you're looking at the market, we've done bigger moves. Like I said, there were, Ethereum not too long ago, a couple months ago, did 113%, right?
Yeah.
And then it ended up right back where it was, about $1,150.
Yep.
So I would just stay cautiously optimistic. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Well, like Kruger said, BTC broke 23,000 today. That's big. But congratulations to anybody that bought ETH at 700 or BTC at 17,000, because is that the floor for those? I sure do hope so. But if you bought at 700 ETH, you've already doubled your money, a little more right now. So I wish we all could have bought a couple ETH at that point, because you're just only gaining from there. I don't think it's going to go much lower than that. So congrats if anybody bought that low.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, and we see that there's consolidation, and I would say if you look at the last little while, it looks like it's flattening out. So it was down. There's a steep down curve, and then it's kind of bottomed out, right? And so we could be building our way up, but that's a challenging process as well.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Well, in this economy we have, and everything that we're going through right now with prices of things too, it doesn't surprise me if people aren't wanting to put money into crypto right now, leaving all their spare change for for eggs and stuff like that. It's really rough.
Yeah, but so, I mean, for people that may be new to crypto, this is what it does. So all of the skepticism and Bitcoin's going to zero, crypto's done, it's over with, there's no mass adoption coming or whatever. That's silly. That's nonsense talk. There's always opportunities if you look for them and plan for them too, right? Like if you and I'm not financial advice, but if you were saying, I'm just going to put in a limit order on whatever platform and throw it in at, 1350, there's a really good chance that in a little while, a couple weeks, you'll probably hit that. Right. And it's just giving yourself that opportunity and just letting things sit and mature. And anyway, it's good. It's a great market.
Yeah. And, it's gone through this before in the past. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin's history and, it's done this before, and people say it every time Bitcoin goes down, from say 1,000 to $100, and then it goes up to 10 grand, and then it goes down again, and then it goes up to 20, and so we've been here before, so it's not anything new. So will crypto ever go to zero? No, it's just not going to happen, in my opinion. So it's way too much. There's way too much momentum behind this space now. Things have changed so much in a year. Things are just way different. So people are more accepting of it,
Yeah. And I think something that could be helping the market is this talk about the central bank tokens and the stable tokens, and Visa setting up a whole strategy and pouring millions of dollars, and a lot of these firms pouring millions of dollars into really mapping out crypto and where is it going and how is it going to be used and whatever. Not to say that I'm a fan, for everything that's going on, because I'm certainly not. But yeah, that's helping the market, because that does bring some sort of confidence, and regulation to some extent will likely come. I mean, it's in a large way, it's kind of already there. You have to KYC. You can't get money really in or out except through centralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges are not, I mean, they're regulated, but after FTX, they're really being scrutinized, and solutions are trying to be put in place. And, as long as taxes are able to be collected, and, things are done in a, I guess, safer way, or, where to a point where people could, put insurance on things if there was an FTX or the FDIC or something could maybe step in to a certain point. I mean, whatever it is, but more than likely, I think that the centralized tokens will be used as, I mean, the digital dollar's coming, like it or not, right?
Yep.
And it'll probably be something in order to be compliant as a centralized exchange, that's what you pair to, right?
Yep.
Or maybe that's going to be, I mean, you could use that to pay for different things. This is kind of where what Pair is doing, I think, is really valuable for someone for me. Like, it's really attractive to me, because I don't want to be using the Federal Reserve's digital currency, right? The thing is so fiat doesn't mean paper, right? Fiat doesn't mean paper. It means centrally controlled. So it doesn't matter if it's a digital fiat currency, it's still fiat. So to have something that's not controlled, where you could maybe you could pay for your mortgage with Bitcoin, like, that's where we want to get to, and that's what what we're building allows people to do. Yeah. Anyway, that's my thought. Sorry, a little bit of a rant.
Yeah. No worries at all. That's yeah, but it's almost like FTX was exposed on purpose. If you think about what potentially is behind all of that, it wouldn't surprise me. I think it's could be considered a conspiracy there at this point. But here's what people don't really understand, or maybe don't think about, is there's not, exchanges do what a lot of banks do. The banks take your money in and they use it somewhere else, right? They take it, they give it to somebody else as a loan, or whatever the case is. Crypto exchanges are taking your money in and they're taking it and they're investing in something else, or whatever the case may be. The difference is crypto exchanges aren't regulated, aren't backed by the government, right? So if something happens, that money could just be gone. If something happens to a bank, it's backed by the government and they get bailed out from it. So that's one of the biggest differences, is there's no support backed by a government or anything like that. So what they're doing behind the scenes is your guess is as good as mine. They're not being audited. They're not being looked at all the time. So maybe these exchanges, the bad actors, are being exposed to get them out of here before anything comes down the pipe. Who knows?
Yeah. There's a lot of different thoughts on this, but I'll tell you one thing. Like, when it comes to the FTX, I don't care that CZ, what he knew, what he didn't know, and him putting in there and causing, a lot of people think, oh, he caused FTX to collapse, right? No, he didn't. Like, that's just flat not true, right? And I'm not saying you have to be a CZ fan. What caused FTX to collapse was bad business practices.
Yep.
I mean, they sold 20% to Binance. Tried to buy it back for $3 billion, stole the funds from the users. I mean, there's a lot going on that if that wasn't going on, then it wouldn't matter what CZ or Binance was able to do, right? Yep. So, and if people are doing fraudulent stuff, I want it to be exposed. I don't care how it gets exposed, right? Yep. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm glad to see that there's things moving forward where, SBF can be held accountable for what he's done. So anyway,
Well, and
It's
there's things like I read there was a back door for Alameda Research to go in and access clients' money whenever they wanted to.
yeah.
And I mean, come on, that if you think that's okay and shouldn't be exposed, then what does it matter who exposed them if it's a direct competitor or not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still wrong. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter who's doing it. It still needs to be addressed.
I mean, yeah, to say, oh yeah, but Binance really benefited from this. It's like, well, I'm sure that they did.
Of course they did.
I'm sure that they did. Like
Right.
FTX was huge,
right?
Yeah. But who cares? If they didn't make dumb decisions and if they weren't acting fraudulent, they wouldn't be in this position. And anyway, but it's an interesting thing. That's what I want people to kind of focus on, is when it comes to monopolies and when it comes to people in power, in a true free market, natural monopolies rarely stand, right? Because there's a lot of this type of stuff that goes on, and corruption's easily exposed, and they get bloated and all sorts of stuff like that. But no, I love seeing what's going on. The question is just what does the aftermath really bring?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So we're gonna switch gears just a little bit and talk about the user dashboard / compliance platform that it's listed on the website. So Cameron, go ahead. I'll let you kind of say what you want to say about.
On the roadmap, we have a compliance platform. 2022 roadmap. Looks like we've got an update to do on the website.
yes, we do.
So yeah, the compliance platform is ever changing. It's actually, instead of just being about compliance, it's more about being a central hub for Para and the whole ecosystem, because there's a lot that we're doing, not just the payment processing, right? But there's having our own network, the DAG, right? Having our own network, having launch pads, NFTs, staking, NFT marketplace. There's just a lot that goes on with this vision. So yeah, we want to have what is it is like a compliance platform, but add all of this other stuff into it, right? So the idea, and it's in testing. We've been doing some testing, but yeah, like you create an account. It's your central hub, and from there you can see NFTs, buy, mint, stake, right? The whole shebang. You can use the payment processing system through that, and charts like with what CryptoList is doing, and everything like that. So yeah, it's really fun. It's cool to kind of scale things out. Now, I don't know when it's going to be launched. Not 100% sure on that. There's a couple things that we're kind of thinking. So it might be sooner than later, right? Good chance that it comes out before like the payment processing app. But it would probably be in a limited state at that point, where like compliance would be like the main purpose. But then from there, it'll continue to be built out and scaled out, and we'll add things as they're available and finished.
Yeah, and like you said, I kind of think we call it user dashboard, or you could consider it a user interface of like the ecosystem, right? That's like Cameron said, the hub. Like you go there, and that's where you can access or use all the other functions of the ecosystem. And it will be ever changing, most likely, because things will be changing and updates will be made, and who knows, you may decide that we want to do this in a different way and we need to change and update the platform and things like that. But like Cameron said, it's in the testing phases, and so far so good on that, and hopefully a time frame comes up, like you said, sooner rather than later for that.
Yeah. Yep, it'd be really cool. So I don't want to get too in the weeds or reveal too much about it, but it's a cool platform. We've been testing it, so just getting feedback, what works, what doesn't work, and then polish it up. And then once we get the green light, we'll go ahead and put it out there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool. So those are the main things that are kind of being worked on right now. Well, I shouldn't say that. Those are the main products that are being worked on. There's a lot of things that will bring para value that are going on just behind the scenes, administrative work and things like that. But I would say that para right now is flowing pretty well, flawlessly. Communication, we're just very fluid and things are getting done. So it's fun to see. It was fun to see the kind of show and tell today, where actually see the app and work through the payment processing and that whole thing. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It tells people, it should tell people a lot about, I guess, the hard work being put into it and the progress of, show and tell and doing things like that. So,
And we've even gotten to the point where well, okay, there's some stuff we won't talk about this, but the NFC function, which is to be able to use your phone to tap and pay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we that's working right now. Like that's up. So Spencer just sent off a phone that he had to Dave Ender to be doing some more testing with stuff like that. But there's a lot of cool possibilities. Sorry, my cat just jumped up on the table. Get down.
No, you're good. I didn't even notice it.
Get down. Not allowed up here. Crazy. So yeah, but I mean, testing's going great and things are going along. But I think, yeah. So basically, like the team agenda, if I could share that, is just finish the testing, finish the polish for the hub, right? The membership platform, compliance platform. Get that to a good spot, and then we'll see when we need to release that. But then just get Spencer back to, and he's obviously working on the payment processing, but kind of get him back to that so that he can be just really, really focused and dialed in. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's just been fantastic. The team's doing great.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's been great to see. I'll tell you what. So now I want to jump to staking for a little bit because I have had some questions, kind of some repeat questions, and they're not anything bad or anything, but just to explain, just to make sure. I'm pretty sure everyone here knows, but for anybody watching, I've had questions as far as people losing rewards just day to day. And so just a real simple explanation, and Cameron can probably go into more detail, but the rewards are dynamic, right? So they can go up, they can go down. If more people stake more tokens or add NFTs, your percentage could go down a little bit and your rewards might fluctuate, 20, 30,000 tokens or more, depending on, what people are adding to the platform. And this is totally normal. And same thing goes if someone removes 100 million tokens and 12 NFTs, then your rewards might go up. And, the only way to avoid this really is to claim every day. Now, it kind of depends on how much rewards you're getting. If you're pulling rewards out every day and it's worth less than your gas fees, it probably might not be worth it. But it is definitely normal, and you're not losing anything. Not like someone coming in and taking anything, but they're just fluctuating a little bit. So definitely just something. Just like if you were adding more tokens, your rewards might go up a little bit. Same thing.
So think about this. It's the same way when you look at your, Links app or your Zerion app or whatever, where you're looking at your tokens, right? It's like it gives you the current value, but obviously there's going to be fluctuation depending on who comes in and who goes out. So if someone collects for that day, that's going to affect. If you get more people that come in, that's going to affect. So it is this kind of ebb and flow. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty consistent. But the rewards are more of a live snapshot at that moment. If you like the rewards, claim them, right?
Yeah.
If you're a little concerned about that, or not concerned, but if you're seeing it go up and down, I mean, that's normal. That's just people coming in and going out.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, thanks, Fred. Everybody like the stream. If you could, that'd be great. Just helps us with getting the video out there. So, but everything's been going really well with the staking. I haven't heard of any problems or anything like that since, Spencer fixed a few things. And so everything's been going good there. I'm trying to think. There was something else I was going to talk about, and I forgot. Listening to Cameron, and I forgot. Thanks, Cameron. Sorry, expense.
You're talking about maybe the locking February 1st.
Yes. Thank you. Yep, that was it. So, is there a time? Is it just going to be in the morning? I mean, I don't know. The last time it was like 8 a.m. kind of thing where they relocked it, but February 1st, I would say probably early in the morning, relocking the staking. So, get all your NFTs bought and staked. Hopefully, I'm going to put a poll up, I think, in Telegram about the Parapro raffle. We've got some spots left. If we want to extend another week, we can. We got another, 10 days before we lock the staking. So we could extend another week, see if we get more spots, or we can send the ETH back to you guys. So give us some feedback on that. I do have the prepper raffle ready to go. So we'll do that, and then I'll get that bought and sent out today as well. So,
yeah, I'm excited for the raffle. What do you think we should do that pretty soon?
Yeah, I mean, we can do it right now. Why? Anybody have any questions? We'll do this. We'll do the raffle for the prepper. So we got 20 spots up. Thanks to everybody for being a part of this. We really like doing these. I think it's a good way to give back to the project and give back to the community as well. So, but we'll go ahead and spin this, and then if anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat, and we can go over that. Hopefully, I at least should be back next week, I believe. He was at SHOT Show this whole week. So as far as I know, I think he'll be back next week for the huddle and see if he has any more updates for us. But we're going to go ahead and do this, and then we'll get it sent out today. So good luck, everybody, and thank you again for being part of the raffle. Congratulations, 0D12 is the winner of the prepper.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Congrats.
That's exciting.
So we're doing it. Yeah. How many spins are we doing?
Just one.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Just one prepper. I wish we could do the one for the pro, but I'd like to get that if we can fill it and get one to somebody before we relock. I think that would be awesome. So we got about 8 spots left, everybody.
Yeah, awesome. Did you talk about the actual para token being used when a customer makes a purchase? We didn't talk about that. And there's nothing to report right now on that. So the thing when it comes to the payment processing is we want to build in the ability to have these rewards. Actually, give me just a second. My Roomba is going to start.
Yeah. So I'll just do this story. I was on a stream last week with a friend of mine on his channel, and we were talking about para, and there were a lot of people in the chat that were like, why would you use your crypto as payment? It's an investment. Why would you want to sell it or use it for goods and services? And I'm like, well, but there's really no difference. It is an investment. You're here to make money in the end. You invest in this at this price and it goes up. You take profit. And what do you do with that profit? You take it and say you buy a new car, or you do a remodel on your house, or you build on an addition. It's the same thing, right? You go to the store, you take that money to go buy eggs with it, or why couldn't you use that to pay for someone to fix your toilet, or for any type of service or another good? It's the same thing. You're using the profit of your crypto to pay for something else. So if you never sell and never take profit, you'll never have profit, never make money. So I guess I can see that, but your investments, you buy stocks and they go up, and eventually you're probably going to want to take profit from it, right? So I was a little confused on that logic they had.
No, you just take your profit and you buy more, and you just
Right.
keep buying more, and
Yeah.
and it's a charity, and no one's here to make money.
Right.
No, so on this question too about how the para tokens are going to be
Yeah.
used. Um, so the main use, right, is that it's not so much at least right now, and just kind of keep this in mind, like everything's changing, and there's V1, V2, V3, and everything like that, but it's not so much that the para token is going to be used for making a payment through the payment processing app. It's more so that the revenue generated from the payment processing app is going to go help the para token, right? That's the first relationship that we're building between these two. So if you keep in like keep this or let's talk about this. If we said, okay, you have to hold $50 worth of para to use the payment processing app. There are a ton of payment processing apps. No one, why would they? Oh, well, no other app makes me go out and buy $50 worth of worth of something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's MG, that's what you're suggesting. But as far as like putting a requirement saying, oh, you have to have para, you have to do this or whatever right now, or as far as just the baseline use, it's way more beneficial to put out a product that people would want to use. And trust me, that's challenging enough, right? I mean, everything right now, just from this is why we want to do the user interviews, because everything is hypothetical, right? We think people are going to want this product. Obviously there's a lot of good reason for it and whatever, but it's like, are people willing? Do they want it bad enough that they're going to change their habits? Do they want it bad enough that they're going to pay for it? I mean, there's a lot. It's not just here's an app, download it, whatever. Though that's how I feel. That's probably how everyone on the stream feels. Like someone that's never heard of para, it's like, hey, download an app, put in your information, create an account, link, bank account or cards, or send money in, and this and that. I mean, to get someone to do any of that is challenging. So we want it to be as streamlined as possible, as simple as possible, and provide real value to them so that they're willing to take those steps. And so, yeah, it's not that the token will be used to be able to use the platform. The platform is going to be supporting the token. Sorry, one other thing. Ultimately, if we were to say, okay, buy $50 of this token, buy para, and then you can use the app, our workaround is to say, we're just going to take a portion of the revenue, the profit that we get, and just buy the tokens,
Right.
and
Instead,
then put them into staking, put them into whatever to benefit holders.
It makes the platform free, right? And then the money that's being made from it just goes back into the token. It's the same thing, right? It's buying tokens no matter where it's coming from. So
and this is going. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, go ahead. Yeah.
Let's keep a broad, like a clear distinction. You have the payment processing app, which is just like, it's going to be like the Cash App or like Venmo or like Square or PayPal, right? Have similar functions. And then you have our network, right? The DAG. That's going to be different, right? The DAG is going to have tokens that are used in order to do transactions and stuff like that, like a native token, like Ether is on the Ethereum network.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like, the other day I was at the grocery store and my debit card wasn't working. I don't know if it was a strip or because I had a crack in it, whatever the case may be. I just got out my Apple Pay, my wallet, tapped on the same debit card that's in my hand and used it and tapped it right there, and it went through, right? And so, plastic cards to me sometimes suck because if they wear out or they get broken or stolen, most likely my phone's, it could get stolen, but I wear, you wear your debit cards out. I wear mine out extremely fast, because when we're out somewhere, we always use mine. And so it's hardly ever working. So I just pull my phone out and tap and boom, done. That's kind of, same thing. The ease of it is we want it to be super easy. Like Cameron was saying, we don't want it to be hard. Space is hard enough as it is.
So one of the ease, or one of the things that we believe is making this whole process easier is like what you're talking about. So let's say that you're one of these people that bought Ethereum at $700 and you're looking at where you're at today and you're like, cool, I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy some eggs now because I can afford eggs because my Ethereum is up, over 100%. So to do like a normal process, you would have it on, say, your MetaMask or Ledger wallet or Trust wallet or whatever. You would then take that Ethereum, move it to a centralized exchange, convert that to US dollars. Then you'd have to, like for me, if I was using Coinbase, like I would go from Coinbase Pro to then Coinbase Standard. And then I would, send it to my bank account and maybe wait a couple days unless I wanted to pay a fee to get the money in there. And now I can go buy eggs, right?
Yep.
So there's a process. Our app makes it simple. You click a couple buttons, you scan your face or whatever, because we have to have security, and then you tap the screen and you can buy eggs right then. So you're not going from your wallet to a centralized exchange and swapping that and then to your bank and then waiting a couple days. Like that whole process is now a few seconds rather than a few days.
Well, and you're eliminating all those fees because you got the gas fee to swap your tokens to ETH. You got a gas fee to go from your wallet to Coinbase, and then you got to sell it from your ETH to USD. So there's 3 fees, and Coinbase has a fee. And now there's no fee to send it out from Coinbase if you choose the 3-day or 5-day, whatever option it is. But you got 3. So you're looking at about $15 in fees on a good day, or if you do it in the middle of the night, $15 to $30 in fees to do all that. Plus, it's not easy. I mean, it's probably taken us, it probably took me 3 or 4 months to get proficient at doing this, right?
Yeah.
And I still do transactions for friends and family because it's just difficult and they don't do it all the time.
Right.
So you're eliminating money, wasting money more or less, and you're just going straight to using it right here. And you're going to have a fee to use it on the platform. But, with using the DAG, it's going to be little to possibly nothing. Right? And that's another benefit to it.
Well, and the fees that a user is going to pay, and we'll come out with, this information, but like you have to send it to our network, right? So if you're holding Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever, right? You're holding it in your decentralized wallet. You send it to our network, which would be then your account. Mm-hmm. And so there's going to be a gas transaction there, right? And then that's it. You don't have another gas transaction.
Yep.
Like if you want to then go buy something, you buy something. So you're doing one transfer, which is to say, okay, I'm going to send, this amount of ETH to my Parapay app, right? Yep. And then from there, just beep, you're good to go.
Yep. Yeah, it's super simple. I mean, super simple for people to use. And that's exactly what, we wanted to do. So huge development for this project, limits per day. That's a good question, actually.
This stuff hasn't been established. I don't know, honestly, from what, like, I'm just thinking about it off the top of my head. I don't know if we are going to have any limits.
Because go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm thinking too.
I'm thinking. I don't know that we're going to have any limits. We'll get back to you on that, but
and the DAG comes into play too, and that goes back to scalability as well. Though, you got the DAG is what's going to help. That will scale it effectively, and with DAG Bridge, you've got how many transactions per second that it can do. A lot. So that's another thing there too.
Yeah. I mean, so when I say limits per day, I'm talking if you were to do $1 million, if you were to do $500,000, if we're talking ridiculous amounts, then yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be something like that. Because there's a lot on the back end that's going, but I mean, I realistically think that you have to get to those type of numbers, at least as of right now, before we would hit something like that. But I'll get back. I mean, that could change.
It's all in time though too. And it's not that it's a tough question. It's just getting to that point to know the answer to that question, because there'll be an answer. We just kind of have to kind of get there first,
And most limits, when you're talking about limits, there's reasons because of like liquidity is kind of a big reason, or a bank will say you can only withdraw X amount of cash per day, or things like that. And some of it's fraud, some of it's liquidity. With how we're doing things, unlike FTX, we're not, what comes in can go out. It's yours. It's there, right? So if you have it to spend, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see really, unless we're talking about massive amounts of money, I don't think that we would have a bottleneck with how we're doing it. So yeah, it's a great question, but as of right now, I'm going to say probably nothing. If you're under 6 figures, you're probably good to go.
Yeah. This is another good question too. If you have a pair staked, would it have to manually unstaked, or would it draw from the staked account? I would say, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Cameron, but if it's locked, I would say it probably wouldn't be able to be pulled from it.
Right. And if it was liquid, so the answer on this is, at least right now, in any future that we can predict, foresee. I mean, who knows where we might be in a couple of years, but I wouldn't expect that. That's going to be different, right? The staking is its own smart contract. And so those funds, even though you might be able to use the central hub, or maybe even use the payment processing to access the staking or whatever, they're going to be totally separate. So yeah, it's not going to be exactly the same. And, the wallets, well, I mean, yeah, I guess we can say this, like the wallet that you have, like your decentralized wallet, you're going to have a different wallet when you have your payment processing app. So it's going to be a different wallet. So you'll have to, put money into that wallet. If it's not there, it won't be able to be used.
Yep. Use the DAG and find out what the limit will be. Yeah, there you go. Just use it and find out.
With the DAG, yeah, and I'm not talking about with the DAG, because with the DAG it's totally different. With the DAG, I don't see why there'd be any limits. I'm talking mostly just with the payment processing app, what you'd be able to spend in a day. So with the DAG, I almost certainly say there'd be no limits on what you could use. Like, there's no limits on how much Ethereum you could move around, or Bitcoin you could move around.
Right, exactly. So I'll go back to this. Kruger brought up another good point. We've talked about this before. For the people that don't know, I'm sorry, this is the wrong one. So when the time lock is up, what happens, right? And I just saw another comment on staking, so we'll go over this real quick before we forget. So say you stake for 120 days, or you stake for 120 days, and you got 100% multiplier there, and you got 10 preppers, and so that's 50%. You got 150% multiplier on staking for 120 days. When that 120 days is up, your tokens are pretty much going to be unlocked, but you're still going to get that 150% multiplier until you unstake. Now, once you unstake, to say add your rewards to that, they will be locked again if you decide to do 120 days again. So you can leave them 120 and continue to get the same multiplier you were getting, and more or less have unlocked tokens at a good multiplier. Or you obviously have the option to unstake, and then they'll be relocked again if you so choose. So I think it's a pretty cool feature of the staking platform. I don't know how a lot of other platforms do it, as far as, the reward. If it becomes unlocked, do you lose it? There's not a lot that I've used, but I do like this portion of the staking platform, is you can just leave it in there, kind of set it and forget it, don't have to worry about it. So we just wanted to kind of reiterate that, now that we're coming up on another, 120 days, and people are going to be restaking again for long periods of time. And that way people, kind of are informed about that.
There's a good amount of money saved by doing it like this, right? Imagine if after 120 days you had to pay the gas to unstake everything, and then pay the gas to restake everything. You know, the rewards that you earned, a decent portion was now eaten up. So yeah, no, if you're happy, you're good earning that reward. The benefit is now it's liquid. Now, if you need it in a pinch or you want to get out a little bit or whatever, you have that ability, which is great. So yeah, it's almost like another perk. If you've locked it up, you're now good to go. You still get those rewards, but it's liquid. It's available to you whenever you need it.
And I do want to talk about one more thing too, is, you know, when you're staking, if you're staking multiple things, you're executing multiple contracts. And so there are fees. You know, I've noticed, I know I talked to Cameron about this just recently too. You know, now that I'm staking, you know, you got pros to stake. Your fees are going to go up because you're executing more contracts. So if you stake tokens, that's a contract. OGs contract, prepper contract, pro, all contracts. So you're executing 4 different contracts. So there's fees involved with all that, and they're just adding them together. And so fees are going to go up. Now, the other thing about the platform too is it's going to quote you high. Like, you know, you're looking at, it might quote you $50 to $60 to stake everything, but it's only going to execute maybe $15, $17. Unfortunately, you do have to have the money, the ETH in there to cover the quote, but it is significantly lower than what it's quoting you. So, you know, we all know this, and so just make sure you have enough ETH to cover the quote, and then it should take out significantly less. But now that pros are involved, I have noticed an increase in the fees when staking. So just be aware of that as well.
Yeah, that's good info. It's good info. And the reason why is just because we have to give a higher quote, because there was a time when we first launched the platform, the staking platform, that we didn't give it that high of a quote, and there was like gas failed transactions because it is calling the tokens and then one NFT and then the other NFT. So
more or less out.
Yeah, so there's a lot that's happening. So the way to solve it and make sure that people weren't losing gas money and then having a failed transaction was just to provide a higher quote, knowing that it would cover it for sure.
Yeah. And, you know, there was an instance where we were having to change the limit, you know, from say $1 million to 3 million or 5 million to get it to go through. And it was extra steps for people. So this kind of fixed, you know, brought it back to just being easier for everybody. You know, it is, you see that price though, and you're like, wow. But it has made the platform smoother and more user friendly. So
definitely.
But yeah, great questions, everybody. Thank you for bringing this up. You know, as many as you guys throw at us, we can at least try and answer what we can. Yeah, we already answered that one. Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, good questions always spark good conversation and kind of makes people think about, you know, maybe something different, like, oh, what could be, or, you know, whatever the case is. So,
yep. Oh, that's a nice compliment. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's one thing we've always strived in this community is, you know, we do answer a lot of questions over and over again, but that's part of this space, right? New people come in, they want to ask the same question, and you just have to be willing to answer that to keep a community, you know, strong and, you know, willing to want to ask and be informed. Because a lot of people, I should say some communities that you go into, they don't want you to ask questions or, you know, stuff like that. So any questions that people ask, please. Do you think politicians would ever do this? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Let's not get political.
Yeah, won't go there. Is the next comment.
You can DM me. We could talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll go there.
I'm what we're doing here is definitely different. There's not even a lot of businesses that do this, and I mean it's so interesting with how crypto goes, and I love how crypto is, but you know, you don't see the CEO of Walmart, the CEO of you know, PayPal, or you know, Cash App, or you know, you don't see any of these people every week, getting on multiple things, talking to the community, or I mean, every now and again you might catch an interview or you might catch a conference or a little snippet. But I like how crypto works. It's way more transparent. That's the main thing. So
You want a place, an open forum where you can go, can you go ask the CEO of Walmart questions and give them your concerns? No, you probably most likely won't ever. You're probably just going to see him on, the news, or if they're doing an interview on a talk show or something like that, So, my goal, and I know a lot of the team's goal, is to, be here throughout the growth and, be able to come on here and answer as many questions as we can and just be open to questions and concerns and ideas, especially ideas.
Yes. And real quick before we go to this, not that we are anything, I mean, we're not Walmart, right? But where Para is going, that's the aspiration, is to be big, to be a massive business and have lots of employees and be able to provide that type of value to the employees and to all the users and everything like that. So if Para is able to do what we're planning on it doing, I mean, it would be a big company, and I don't think anything is going to change. I'll still be here on Saturdays. It'll be a good time.
And I think that's part of when things get big, is they forget about the people that, started it, the community that started it and supported it through the building process. And, money comes into play and they just kind of go away from it. We are going to we don't want to do that at all. We want to still be here, and come out here and do what we're doing now, and hopefully have thousands of people on here, while we're on here talking.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe they don't do it because they've got their chief legal counsel sitting there saying, you can't say this, you can't say that, everything's pineapple. Oh, you can't be saying that. And then it's just not fun anymore. So maybe if we got a guy doing that, who knows? But, as of right now, we drop things all the time unintentionally.
Well, it's the excitement, man. Yeah. It really is. I always chalk it up to, and when slips come out, that just means the team's excited about what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a terrible thing. It just shows you that the team is excited about what we're doing.
Yeah. This is a good question. Do you want to? I've got some thoughts, but if you want to take it first, Alex.
Yeah. So I always tell people, don't ever put all your eggs in one basket, right? You want to diversify your portfolio. And I think it's a tough thing, because a lot of people, you talk to some people and they say, no, you only want to invest in blue chips, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and things like that. And then there's other people that say you should do some of that, but you should do a lot of the meme coins and things like that. And, and then the other thing too is, what do you consider a meme coin versus a shit coin, or whatever that you want to call them? And then another thing too is doing your proper research. You can do research on something and think it looks great, but are you doing the correct research? And that could be a whole nother video. We might want to do a video on a Saturday on doing your own research, just because, I'm not going to sit here and say just invest in Para. Para is the only thing out there that is good and you're going to make money. Now, if you put all your money in this and it takes time to develop, and you could have had another project that you believed in too, I don't see any reason to not diversify. I wish I had the money to buy a whole Bitcoin, so when it goes back to 40,000, can make a lot of money. So I think these projects that we're in now, like Para and, Grove token, just one that popped in my head, things like that, is because you can get a decent amount for a small amount of money. And when you think about Bitcoin, if you have $50, what are you getting out of it? So I think that what attracts people a lot to these newer projects, smaller market cap projects, things like that. But I would definitely tell people to do a lot of research and put money into other projects as well. And there's a lot of things. I mean, there's NFTs, there's metaverse projects, there's, like Para is doing, a payment processing thing. And so there's a lot of different things you can put your money into. And but I'm not going to be sit here and be a paramaxi and tell you not to invest in anything else. I think that's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. My thoughts on this is, I mean, obviously just the fundamentals, of course, never put in anything that you're not willing to lose, like understand the risks. Hype and excitement, energy, it can cloud judgment. Something that I do, and this is like, I'm not telling you what to do. Let me just share what I like to do. If it's not something that I would use, let's say there's a product, right? I'll be honest, like I look at, there's a lot of metaverse stuff, and I'm not like trying to put anyone down that likes metaverse or is in that. That's not me. I don't like VR. I don't do a lot of gaming, stuff like that. It's just not my personality. It's not something I'm gonna buy. So I'm not personally buying any of that stuff, right? I'm not in there, so I'm just kind of skeptical. Really, it's about being as objective as possible. A white paper is not a business plan. A roadmap is not a business plan. Like, there's a lot that goes into a real business. People that are building it. So look at track record. If this is like the first thing that they've done, first business that they've opened, first crypto token that they've been a part of, it can be dangerous. It can be really risky. So the other thing I want to say is this: if you're a para holder, get yourself comfortable. If you have profit, if you're in profit and you're like checking the chart and you're nervous that it's going to go down, you're this or that or whatever, take whatever profit you need to be comfortable, and so you can sit and let things come to fruition, right? The biggest mistake that is often made is impatience or being on edge, right? You can't make good decisions when you're feeling that way. So if you're in profit, I want people to be taking profits and feeling comfortable. All right. I'm not saying cash out. I mean, obviously do what you got to do. I'm not saying I want everyone to cash out. I want people to be comfortable so that we have the time to be building and to be growing and to be, really putting resources into this, which is happening. So also, if there was another token that you're getting into or another commodity, right? There's other things outside of crypto too. I love gold. I love silver. I think that there's great opportunities with those as well. But things take time. So whatever you're putting money in, make sure that you're able to let that sit for a while, right? Anyway, there you go. Good luck.
Yeah. And, I think the one key thing that Cameron said was the hype part of it. If a coin is pumping, I just use that because I can't think of another word to use. Don't get drawn into what other people are saying as far as hype goes. Because I'm telling you right now, if you buy in on the hype, you're going to get burned, because if you buy in at the top, you're just being someone else's exit liquidity, and it's going to pull back eventually.
Yeah.
They always do.
Yeah.
So, you want to buy on one of the red candles and you want to wait to make profit on the green candles. So
there's a saying, it's kind of crude, but I like it. Bulls make money, bears make money, greedy pigs get slaughtered, right? So be a bear, be a bull, don't be a greedy pig.
Yeah. And I think we've all been, I want to say not all, but some of us have been in that part of it before, trying to be greedy and then trying to, make some quick cash, and it doesn't work. And then you learn from it. Right. And so, you buy on red and sell on green. And if you live by that, it'll save you a lot of heartache. I'm telling you.
Yeah. This question.
Yeah. Kruger wants to, I would never answer this question, but go ahead.
Yeah, but go ahead.
It's a loaded question.
It's totally loaded, and I'm like, yeah, it's totally loaded. Listen, I guess I just want to say this: you have to make the decision for yourself. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. Do what's best for you, and whatever. I truly believe that Para has big things in store. What is being built is going to, in my view, provide a lot of value that I think a lot of people outside of Para are going to want to be a part of. So I love what's being built. I love how the business is organized. So that's why I'm here. I like the business. I like the building. I like the organization. I like the teams. So things are good. I think that anyway, I guess, look, if everything else is in place, right? If everything else is done right, the question then comes, what does the money follow, right? So my answer for me has been yes, and that's why I'm here. I believe that the money is going to follow. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And I totally agree, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe the same thing, right? That's kind of why we're all here. We all believe in this project, and I definitely want to salute everybody that's been here and been a holder and been so supportive, because it really does help to know that we don't have a toxic community. We're not going to allow that to come in, people to come in and do that. And it's just really refreshing to know that I can go into the chat at any time, and we don't have to deal with the problem all the time, right? So, but we are going to rely on our community later on down the road to help, with that as well, because eventually it's going to get way bigger, and we're going to be sitting here going, remember that day when we had 3,000 people in the Telegram, and now we've got thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, so But if you guys read Rad's comments, she has some that's great things to check when you're looking at other projects, if you are, because that's what I'm all about, is making sure people are doing stuff safely, so read through her comments there. And MG Michael has another good for you, Cam.
I appreciate the compliment. Honestly, it makes me a little uncomfortable because it's nice, and like I'm not here, and Alex isn't here to BS people, or to, we're not tricking anyone. And Alex, I know, look, we both have, look, I've got a big holding of Para, big holding. So does Alex. Alex has a big holding of Para. So look, there is, if Para goes up, there's a financial investment or a financial benefit, is what I'm saying. So it would definitely, I don't know, like,
but
listen,
but at the same time though, we've taken the risk though too, right?
Right.
It's just like a business owner takes the risk, and he gets more of the profits than the workers, because he is the one taking all the risk. And so same thing, we've risked our money, and we've been patient for a year or more, whenever the time comes. And there's no reason why anybody should say anything different, because we were the ones that believed in this project, and the people that are jumping in late just have to deal with that. That's the truth there. So
the BS, listen, the BS comes with saying, I'll be honest, like, let's just cut it, saying Para to $1, Para to $5. Listen, I love it. I know it's part of the culture and whatever. That's the BS part. Not to say that we're not going to get there, but that is speculation. That is BS, right? We're just kind of shooting shit and talking. What is not BS, and what I genuinely am excited about, is what is being built, how the business is being organized, what's happening behind the scenes. So if that wasn't happening, and it was just, and I was just coming here to try and pump my own bag or whatever, right? And I want you guys to know, yeah, we do have bags, right? But that's because of what we believe in. So I'm not trying to pump my own bag. That's not the case at all. What I'm here for is I love business. I love building businesses. I've been a part of building a lot of businesses before, and sold some, had some fail, COVID, whatever, the whole thing, but it's fun. And what we're doing now is the biggest thing that I've been a part of, and it's exciting. So yeah. Yep. Para to a Lambo. There you go. I like
that. There you go.
Someone asked, they said, would you ever buy a Lambo? I said, I don't know. I just want the temptation, right? Because right now I don't have the luxury of being tempted with going out and buying a Lamborghini, but I would love the
I
temptation.
tell you what, after the things people have told me that have owned one, you know, they're meant to be driven fast and fast only, and when you don't, they're just crappy to drive, is what I've heard. So to me, I have no interest. There's tons of other things I'd rather buy than that. I mean, I'll be honest. If I'm going to spend a couple $100,000, I'm not going to buy a Lambo. So, but yes, to be able to walk into a dealership and be able to actually buy one, I probably would, you know, want to feel that. I think that would be cool, you know. But
yeah,
fair. Wow, thanks, Kruger. Always nice things to say about me.
yeah, and I hope like Rad with her comment, like pair it to $1 BS, pair it to $10. I hope you guys know what I mean by that, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the fun part. That's the cultural part. The thing that matters is not the speculation, but what's being built and the value that's being added in the market. So, yeah, I love this.
So
I love talking about trading.
I think this so I might have a little bit different take on this. Cameron might have a little bit different view on this actually than I do, but taking profit, I always tell people, in my opinion, you need to have a plan with your investment, right? If you have a plan, I tell people, if you want to put in $100 and you just want to make $5,000 and that's it, then you need to find the price where it needs to go in order for you to make that kind of money, and then take profit, and be done. If you want to make $100,000, figure out how much you want to buy, where the price needs to go, have a plan. That way, you know, when it gets to that price, I'm taking this much money out. If you, in my opinion, if you just kind of wing it, you might be caught off guard, right? And so I'm the organizational guy. I'm the want to be prepared type of guy. And so I tell everybody that I get into crypto is have a plan. You know, why are you investing this money? Well, I want to buy a new car. Okay, great. This is where you need to be to buy a new car. So, and then, you know, if you have a certain amount you want to leave in forever or until it gets to say $1, you know, you're going to leave, say 20 million para in the wallet until para hits $1, right? And then you're not going to touch it until then. So in my opinion, you just need to have a plan and what your goals are. I think everybody's goals are different.
Yeah.
So have a plan. That's my advice.
Yeah. Having an exit, and so I completely agree. So I'm going to second that. So ditto. Sebastian, a plan. What is that? That's so funny. No, but so when it comes to taking profit, and it's a little different when it comes to like a DeFi token compared to trading like a blue chip if you're doing technical analysis and stuff like that. So if you're trading in the big boy leagues, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some other alts or blue checks, the thing to do is, yeah, have your plan, understand your risk management, right? The where you exit the trade, you should have like whatever that loss would be should at least be 3 times bigger for the win, right? So if you get the W, you got 3 times what you would have lost if you took the L. But it's not arbitrary. It has to be based off of genuine technical analysis. So if you're looking, you say, okay, there's like right now, Ethereum's at 1650. Okay, the last time we got to 1650, we went all the way back down to about $1,000. So I would be saying this might be a good level. I'm not trading advice, but in my mind, I say, okay, that is 1 point for selling, right? That's 1 point in my mind for saying not buying here, because the last time we were here, we went all the way down. So, you know, you have to have a plan. You have to look at support and resistance and where a good point might be to take profit or to exit or end your trade. When you're looking at a like a DeFi token, right? Something smaller, a micro cap, do your best and make sure you understand how market caps work, how pricing is working, right? What the team is doing with tokens. Like it's possible to launch a token with 1 Ethereum as the liquidity pool and have it be something like $1 trillion market cap, because you can manipulate all of these numbers, right? You just have to understand how it goes and how it works. So anyway, the thing to do is just really understand how market caps work, and then what are the plans? What's happening, right? With the project, what are they doing? Is there anything coming up? Is there anything that should be exciting? Gauge the community and do your best to kind of predict, all right, what's a reasonable, not like to the moon, but what's a reasonable market cap? How high could this and should this go over the next X amount? And then you have your plan and you put it in there and let your plan play out, right?
Yep.
Let it play out. Either take the W or take the loss. Don't cut yourself short on either one.
Yep. And I'll add something else is, have realistic goals, expectations, and a plan. If you want a token to go from 10 zeros to 1 0 before you take profit, in my opinion, that's not being very realistic. So that's just an example. But like I said, have realistic goals too.
Yeah. Yep. I think one of the things that is, and also, so for me, I'm a really good trader. Just because I'm so humble, I'll say that. I'm actually a really good trader. But what I've found is I love watching charts. I love doing technical analysis. I'm doing this whole thing, right? But if I sit there and if I'm in a trade and I'm watching it, I second guess myself. I will end a trade. I'll mess something up or whatever. And the majority of the time, say 80, 90% of the time, if I was just to not touch it, it would have played out to my favor, to my advantage, right? So that's something, at least for me, that I have to do. I have to leave and not look at it or go look at something else or get busy, because you can micromanage your way out of a win and into a loss. And so my big thing is either take the L or take the W, but don't be lukewarm.
Yeah. And I also tell people too is, if you have a plan in place and you execute it and then say it keeps going up, you need to be okay with that, right? You can't sit here and, like you said, you can't second guess yourself like, oh, should I wait and make sure and see if it's going to continue to go up? No, you hit your goal, you execute your plan, because what if it goes back down and you don't get that opportunity again? Trust me, we've been there. So, make a plan, execute it when the time comes. And then when it goes up, it just, you're closer to your next goal, your next point where you want to take profits. So, or you sound like Charles Schwab. That's funny. Centralized eggs. That's funny.
I have my own chickens. I call them my mining rigs. They mine my eggs.
Yeah. We started getting eggs from our neighbor. They got quite a few hens over there, and they actually just lost 4 hens from a fox. So they ended up getting a big mountain dog, I think, to keep all the coyotes and foxes away. So, but we started getting them from them because they're much better and cheaper. So
there you go. Nice. Yeah. Everyone's circumstances are a little different, but if you can get some chickens, chickens are so fun. They have a great personality. They're like pets. I thought that they would be dumb, like stupid little things. They're not. They're pretty funny. They like to. My wife really is the one that takes care of chickens and that whole thing. But she'll go out in the yard and they'll follow her around. And but yeah, chickens are awesome.
I've tried, but my wife doesn't want to do any of that. So,
they poop a lot.
Well, we're on 5 acres, so we've got room.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So
you gotta have some chickens, bro.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Chickens are great. I love chickens.
Man, well, we've been on an hour and 20 minutes almost, so we thought maybe it'd be a short stream, but I feel like there's always something to talk about. So everybody's been really talkative today too.
You messaged and like, so what do we talk about Saturday? I'm like, I have no idea. All right, we'll just do a short stream, and here we are, an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll hop off. I appreciate everybody coming out and watching and being so active today, asking a lot of good questions and just hanging out. And Cameron, thank you for coming on again. And we'll see what next week brings. We'll be on. The plan is to be on every Saturday, no matter what. I think at least for a little bit, just to talk with everybody and talk to the community. So,
yep, definitely. Well, thanks for having me. Super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody, thank you again. And we'll see you guys on next week, and we'll talk about what's in the works. Everybody have a great weekend.